early as today, and there are plenty for these 7 new head coaches to work on. In fact, that's in large part while they're there. So it's time for a game we call More or Less. And if you forget that, it's okay, because we got it right here.
More real big.
Or less, okay? And you guys can put yourselves in front of your answer. So stay right there for now. But we'll start with this. Jon Gruden enters his second stint as the Oakland Raiders head coach. You may remember it was a pretty big deal. He signed a 10-year contract worth $100 million coming out of the booth to help get the Raiders back to the playoffs after missing them in 2017. So here's our first. Jon Gruden coaching his contract of 10 years with the Raiders. That's a long time. Will he coach more than 10 years, Dan?
Come
or
on.
less, and you're already moving.
This is the biggest softball of the whole entire show.
Well, we're warming up. We're
they
starting
change
easy.
7 coaches every single year. You tell me one of them's going to get 10
Well,
years.
he signed a big deal.
Yeah, I get it. Look, it's not, I don't think it's any insult to Jon Gruden or the Raiders to pick less year. I mean, 10 is a long, long time. How many coaches have ever coached at least 10 years in the NFL with the same team? I'm not saying he will fail, but he could be a success and still not get the full 10 years on the contract.
You're all going to answer. You can't just.
What you got? Go ahead.
Are you staying
come on.
over here?
Not a chance.
Oh, Cubby, come on.
I know you guys want to come hang out with me.
I'm going to come right over here. $100 million in 10 years. It sounds like the negotiation was something out of Austin Powers, first of all.
It went pretty well for Jon Gruden.
$100 million. No, he's not going to make it 10. Come on home, John. Just come on home back to ESPN.
Wait, you got to let him coach one for crying out loud.
A couple years.
Okay.
Couple
Talking decade now.
John Gruden.
I know. Listen, I would go. I'm just standing right here. I would go over there.
I hear all the talk. I feel all the energy
Please
from
say
Coach Gruden. I mean, coming over here to more, it'd be easily to do.
No,
I mean,
no.
he's in there. He never wanted to leave. He said he never wanted to leave, Wendy.
No.
Why would he coach more than 10?
Okay, there we go. I know you're starting
I would say less than 10. I mean, it's just
That's
like
a long
these guys
time,
are talking
guys.
about. That's
Okay.
They could
it's a
move
long
2 more
time.
times
But
in
I
10 years.
am impressed that you 3 have learned how we're going to play this, and I was
That one was
skeptical,
easy.
so I'm impressed. How about Andrew Luck? We talked about him just a few minutes ago. So many questions about his health. He is set to return, we hope, or at least that's the intention. He's working to get that shoulder strong again. Andrew Luck starting 8 games this season. Do we anticipate more or less? And I can tell you, if you're a Colts fan, you certainly hope the answer is right behind me, but we just don't know. There's still some question marks. Who starts here with Andrew Luck?
Okay,
8 games.
if I'm saying less, that means Andrew Luck is not as healthy as we think he is. He's got a lot more to go, but we're in April. I say, why not? This is why not April for me. I'm going over here to more.
Why not? You have
and
to-
I
it's
think
been a trend
Andrew
for
Luck,
you.
he had the year off. They treated that rehabilitation properly. He went to Europe, or wherever he went, he got it right.
This is Europe. He went to Europe.
I am going to say Andrew Luck is going to start more than, 8 games.
Yeah.
Why is
go,
Europe so
Andrew?
much better at these blood transfusion
I don't
things?
know.
By the way, I'm gonna
That's
just
a political
That's a whole
we're gonna
other
keep this.
topic.
I don't know my level of conviction, but I'm gonna come over here to less, and I'm gonna say that because
It's the first time you disagree with Teddy all day.
that's not true.
Is it really?
I say this only
It's a little bit
because
true. Love it. True.
I look at the situation last year. I'm just trying to hold people a little more accountable. And I know they're not there anymore, but when you tell us all year that Andrew Luck is going to be just fine, and then all of a sudden he doesn't play for the entirety of the season, I start to wonder when he is ever going to be just fine. So this is more about accountability. I'll believe it when I see it at this point, whether Andrew Luck is in fact just fine.
I think believing it when you see it is prudent at this case, just because
is.
we've seen the contrary, Dan. I mean,
Well,
I
tell
agree
you,
with you.
Come on over, bud.
I'm a skeptic.
Come on over.
By nature.
I
Come
call
on.
you
And
my
by
angry
trade.
little elf.
Come on.
And by trade, and
Come on over.
I want to be swayed by Jeff's argument. But as was the case, maybe I'm just feeling a little better about the Colts. Maybe just a little more optimistic.
You've been happy lately.
Because I haven't looked out the window and seen April snow in about an hour and a half. Maybe I'm feeling good. I'm going to say Andrew Luck plays more than 8 games
are
in
you?
2018.
Who
Positive
are
vibes.
you?
It's only April. There's plenty of time to get salty and negative and skeptical and cynical.
And be the Dan
Well,
we know
he's
and
an
love.
optimist.
I'm Team Teddy. Optimism. Even though it's about a quarterback, which makes me surprised. to
In
see him
April?
here.
We're in April.
What did you call it? Why not April?
Why not April?
Why not April? How about this for why not? New Bears head coach Matt Nagy takes over a team where a quarterback needs to improve. Mitchell Trubisky trying to fare better than he did in his rookie season. Played in 12 games through a total of 7 touchdowns. But he's coming, Matt Nagy is, from a high-octane Chiefs offense, and he wants to see the same in Chicago. So here's where we start. Mitchell Trubisky, 20 passing touchdowns this season. Will we see more or less?
It's a tough one.
Gentlemen.
To go first? Yeah, because I just don't know.
First of all, it's fewer, okay? I'm a grammar nerd. It should not say less. It should say fewer when we're talking about, numbers.
You're a nerd. I don't know about the grammar
so
part.
fewer.
Terrible.
So I will say fewer than 20 touchdown passes because, to continue the grammar lesson, to whom will he be throwing these passes? Allen Robinson, we've already talked about coming off an injury. Trey Burton, we don't know if he can be a number one tight end. Taylor Gabriel was a piece in Atlanta, but not necessarily the same kind of piece he's going to be there. I just think that's a lot to ask of second-year quarterback Mitchell Trubisky in a new offense with some question marks around him. I think the Bears will be on the rise. I just don't think it's going to happen overnight.
I was originally inclined to go with you, Dan, but first of all, since you're such a negative person, I'm going to be the optimist here and say that he is going to have more than that. And I'm going to look toward Allen Robinson. I love what the Jaguars have continued to do over the past few years. I think that they might have made a mistake by letting Allen Robinson go there. This guy has been terrific in the early stages of his NFL career, to the point where I don't know that most of the NFL even realizes that, because he was playing in Jacksonville for the start of it. But I do believe that he is a red zone threat, capable of scoring a lot of touchdowns. Trubisky, we've already talked about it, on the verge of a potential breakout year. I'm going to say he's going to have more.
I'm going to call you tiebreaker Teddy.
Yes, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC Championship game last year. We also had Jared Goff break out with a new young offensive-minded head coach. And that's why I say
why not April? Continue.
Why not?
Teddy
Why can't
Bruschi.
Mitch Trubisky throw for over 20? Because with that new offense coming in from Matt Nagy, Helfrich's coming over, like I said earlier, from a year off, basically, from the University of Oregon. They're going to catch teams off guard. They're going to spread it around. It's going to be catch and run. Watch Tariq Cohen get about five or seven of those.
Over there with
Come on,
fewer
here
sign.
we go. Trubisky, go ahead and get you about, I wouldn't say 29.
According to Teddy, by the way,
I'd
no
say
one is
21.
going to lose a single game this year.
21.
Everybody
Don't
is going
say we
to
don't tell the
undefeated.
truth, though, here on this show.
Seriously,
Dan called himself a nerd.
if he throws 19 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions and they run the ball like crazy, that could be a big year. He doesn't have to get 20.
Words, numbers.
Second year.
Here we go. Odell Beckham.
I used to be a math nerd, too.
Again, I'm with you on the nerd
back
part.
in Switzerland, fellas. Back in
No
Switzerland.
argument.
A lot coming out here.
Odell Beckham, $18 million per year with his new deal. Well, that's the question. But here's why he might. He's topped 90 catches, 1,300 yards, and 10 touchdowns in each of his first 3 seasons. He has been clear he wants a new deal. He is entering the final year of his contract, and we know all the other stuff. We've talked about it ad nauseum. So $18 million. Does he get more or less, fellas?
Show me the money!
Wow. That's it?
That's it. That's all I need to say. He's gonna
Hey guys, salary cap's going up. Even if you backload the contract, I think he's going to get more than 18 million.
You think he gets more than 18 million?
I do. I really, really do.
Well, I guess that's standing right
now
there.
that's saying he gets a contract. I believe he deserves more than 18 million a year, but I'm going over here to less because
you say he doesn't get
I
a new
think
deal.
Gentleman plays hardball. I think it's going to be a rough
By the
year.
way, it is less. We're dealing with a singular quantity here in 18 million. It's not
not fewer?
It is less. But I say Antonio Brown's at 17 million. I think he'll beat that, but I don't think he'll beat it by $1 million a year.
Hey, I didn't say it would be with the Giants. Who knows where it'll be?
Oh, so
That's a
fewer.
technicality.
It's not fewer, it's less. I'm just trying to take in the
Less when you're dealing with the singular
Okay.
quantity of
All right.
18 million.
All right,
Yeah.
and you both say less.
I said
And-
less.
But you say
I say more.
No, you
More.
said more. All right,
grammar
listen, Odell
tomorrow
Beckham Jr.
on NFL
18 million reasons at least to things are looking up. Also, how about this? Aaron Donald, he's going to make some money as well, and he's playing with knives. In this instance, we think it's okay. Kids don't do this at home.
I don't think it's okay.
You don't think
Belichick's
it's
worried
okay?
about Guerrero? I don't think that's a real knife.
Oh.
Ooh, hot